you make this the truth number 4, right? You have to love yourself. But
Yeah. So
how do you
in that,
define that?
yeah, it's a great question. So in that chapter, I go a little deep into that. I define self-love ultimately as self-acceptance,
Mm,
which means that you learn, you hold yourself in high regard despite your ambivalence towards yourself.
right.
So you see yourself as a valuable, worthy human being, worthy of love, deserving of a good life. I mean, you're not owed a good life. You have to put in the work for a good life, but
Yes.
you deserve that. Um, even though there are parts of you that suck, right? Like we all,
Right.
it's just it. And I think that it's that fine balance of like, oh, I really believe that at the core, everyone is good. I really
Hmm.
do at the core. But what we do have is some faulty conditioning, some bad habits. Some people, there's no question, there's some people who are really, really, really messed up. And, I don't know if they'll ever get unmessed up, you
Right.
know, but for the most part, the things, if you have an awareness of the things that you're not, that are sort of your shortcomings, but you accept yourself anyway because you understand that that is part of the human experience. It doesn't mean that you don't work on those things. It doesn't mean that you don't keep it on in check. I mean, when we meet someone, what we really need to hear from someone else that we don't even realize, what we need to hear from each other is, this is how I'm great. This is how I'm difficult to live with. But I'm aware, just so you know. Like
Yes.
that's it, like that's sort of like the thing. And if we can't, if we can't accept the parts of ourselves that are not our highest nature, then what we do is, see, the more I believe that, and everyone is guilty of this, but the more or the less I should say, we accept ourselves, the more we will unconsciously hope for someone to come into our lives who actually embodies the perfection that we wish we had.
Mm,
Right? It's like, because if we can't accept that in ourselves, we certainly can't accept that in someone else. And part of the reason why we have to be flexible with people and accept some of their shortcomings is because we want them to accept ours. Now, there's a line there, and there's a fine line, because I've worked with plenty of people who tolerate way too much crap from others. So it's really about understanding um, what is intolerable to you. And then can you just live with the rest? And that doesn't mean that you don't say, hey, I love you, but this habit of yours, like, really would like for you to work on that. But that's not the same thing as, this habit of yours, I don't want to be with you anymore because of it.
hmm.
And again, it depends what it is. But
Right.
the main message is, we are all flawed. No one is perfect. No one is going to love you unconditionally. Like, there's always going to be some conditions, but uh, the goal is for us to love each other with as few conditions as possible. And those conditions being more like, you're mean, like you're disrespectful, you're mean
Hmm.
to me, you cheat, like these things, not, sometimes you get a little anxious, or you're having a bad day, or, you didn't do the dishes or something like that. So yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, let me ask you about that because a lot of people I know that are kind of going through things and it's, slight depression or just anxiety based off it and slipping into that sort of, if this continues, this will probably
Mm-hmm.
manifest itself in something worse and disease and all sorts of things that you'll just suffer because of. How does
Yeah.
someone start to work on that and bring that up with their partner? Case in point, I know someone that is in a loving relationship, but every time he comes home, the partner is just leaving a mess, and he keeps saying it would really be great. This really helps ease my mind if I come home to a happy home that's well
Yeah.
organized. And the other person
Yeah.
is just saying, "Why are you making this such a big deal?" And then he
That's a
suffers because of
problem.
it.
Yeah,
And
but you know what?
yeah,
That's a bigger problem than you think.
yeah. And some people would say, well, maybe it's just me and I have to, and it's just life, right? And I just need to just accept that.
They probably shouldn't live together.
Yeah.
I mean, I have pretty radical, point of view about this. Maybe they would be happy not living together. They would be happier in a relationship not living together. Listen, living with someone is not easy. And if you live together, like you really do have to be, I mean, sort of aligned in how clean and or messy you want the house to be. Look, there are some people who are so incredibly controlling and so type A that that to live with them is impossible. But
Right.
overall, I think that if one person is very messy and one other person is very neat, they probably shouldn't live together. And
Mm,
but they can have a great relationship.
right.
But it's like, okay, so then what if you want kids? Um, Figure out a way, hire someone to come and clean if you can. But you've got to, I guess the larger point that I'm trying to make is you have to figure that out because believe it or not, someone being really messy and someone being really clean and living together can actually lead to a breakup.
Yeah. And then there are the underlying belief systems too, that, well, I can't not live together because societal just norms are that you should and have to live together. How much of that, the belief systems we have, do we need to really start to look at and see, is that serving my best good to just follow societal norms because that is the belief system?
I believe that really at the essence of there's that the ends at excuse me, the essence of doing the quote unquote work on oneself is challenging your belief system.
Yeah.
You don't and and when you challenge your belief system, there are certain beliefs you might say, no, I'm keeping this one. But that really is, that really is at the core. Challenge the beliefs that are in any way leading to more negative states of mind,
Mm,
more stress. So yeah, you have to challenge your conditioning and belief system. I think that people who do that tend to live much more authentic lives.
yeah.
Why, maybe living together doesn't work for like you as a couple, but and you're thriving because of it.